Okay, welcome everybody to another lesson. And today we are going to be talking about used to and usually, but also we're going to be talking about pronunciation. I've decided to add another topic today because I thought it was too easy. So we're going to have a pronunciation topic also, a topic that I think a lot of people either forget or they never learn about, but it's really important. So I see that today we have Nirvana is with us, Aisha is with us, Gigi is with us. I see that Amira is also joining, and Honorata is with us, and Carmen is with us. Uh, Carmen, or maybe that's Colin. He just different name on the account. Okay, great. Well, it's Friday. It's the end of the week. It's been an exciting first week of the year. And today we're going to talk about used to and usually. But first, let's talk about a little bit of pronunciation. So sometimes when we hear native speakers speaking, it sounds different from other people speaking because the sounds are all mixed together, right? They're all together. It's not a clear saying all of the sounds very clearly, but a lot of the sounds are connected. And this is the same with every language, that sometimes sounds are connected in some situations. And so we need to understand these kinds of situations. One thing that's difficult to understand is that sometimes the letter H or the letter TH, people don't say it. I'll give you some examples. The phrase, I like her. So when native speakers say it and they speak quickly, it sounds like, I like her. I like her. And they don't say, I like her, but they say, I like her, right? Or we could use the phrase, is he here? Is he here? Is he here? Instead of is he here? It sounds like, is he here? Is he here? And so we can see, first of all, we don't pronounce the H. And second, the two sounds are connected. So these two sounds, we have I, Z here. Is Z here? Right? This is how it sounds. And then I like her. Here we have this connected sounds, right? I like her. I like her. I like her. So sometimes it's difficult to understand what they say because these sounds are together. But also, we should remember this because it sounds more natural when we connect the sounds together. So these are just a few examples. Let me give you some more examples of this, especially one when th disappears. For example, I don't know what these words mean. I don't know what these two words mean. Okay, look them up. Look them up. Look them up. Look them up. Not look them up, but look them up. Look them up. Yeah. If I don't know what the word means, then I'll look it up. Exactly. So sometimes we do this. Usually we do this when the word is a pronoun. He, them, him, her, right? These special small words, these are the words that we can do this with. Now, sometimes it's not just the letter H or TH that disappears, but sometimes it is much different. Sometimes there's just a consonant letter and a vowel letter, and they connect. For example, if we say stopover, right? Like it means like to come by my house, stop over at my house, like visit, right? Like travel to and visit, stop over, stopover. It sounds like pover because the P is connected to the O in the next word, stopover. We could say, for example, the trip takes an hour. Takes an hour. Takes an hour. It takes an hour. Right? If we say it very clearly. But when people speak quickly, takes an hour. It takes an hour. Takes an hour. So it sounds like san because the S and the A are connected. Right? So we do this a lot when the last sound of the word is a consonant and the first sound of the next word is a vowel. Consonant is like A, B, C, D, F, G, and the vowel is like A, E, I, O, U. Right? These are vowels and consonants, types of letters. So when we have a consonant at the end of the first word and a vowel at the beginning of the second word, then these sounds can come together. Great. Okay. So we might say, oh, Mike is in town. Is he coming here? When's he coming? When's he coming? When's he coming? Right? Because we don't pronounce the H and we have Z. When's he coming? Now, remember, I'm just teaching you the rules of blending the sounds, of connecting the sounds. If someone wants to speak very clearly, like during our lessons, I try to speak very clearly. We say that this person is enunciating. To enunciate. This means to speak very clearly and say all of the sounds very clearly. This is to enunciate. So if someone is enunciating, then they might say, when's he coming? Right? But usually when people are just talking, when's he coming? Okay, so this is the easy part. Maybe you're thinking, what? That was easy? Yeah, this is the easy part. Because there's another situation when we add a sound that isn't in the word. Actually, this happens a lot. You don't see the sound in the word, and we say another sound. So, for example, when we have something like free us, or we are, or say it, or why are, or I am, or there's a lot of examples of this. or enjoy it, or I think that's enough. So what happens in these examples? We add an extra sound. We add the sound y, the sound y, like the letter Y, right? We add an extra letter Y in the middle of the word, in the middle of the two words, because the first word ends with a vowel sound and the next word begins with a vowel sound. And so maybe you don't hear it the first time when someone says it, free us, but it sounds like free us, free us. So a native speaker will usually add this sound, this y sound. Free us. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. Do you hear this extra sound that we're adding between the words? So native speakers blend the sounds. They connect the sounds a lot. And non-native speakers usually say exactly the word and then have a space between the words without connecting them, right? Like it sounds different if someone says, we're here, and if someone says, we are here. This is different. This sounds different. The first person is blending all the sounds together, and maybe it's difficult for other people to understand him if they're not a native speaker. But native speakers speak like this regularly, so it's easy for them to understand who the native speaker is. Another example, say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are? Or this one, I am. It sounds like I yam. I am. A yam is a kind of food. It sounds like I am. And enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Okay, so this is one example of when we add a sound. There's also another example. Sometimes we add a different sound. Sometimes we add this sound. Like when we say, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Right? Who are you? You ask. You wask. You wask. Or for example, grow up. Or go out. Go out. We want to go out. Or, for example, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Great. So those are some good examples. Let me read a couple sentences to you where we add these sounds and try to listen to see how the sounds are added. She often works in the morning. She often works in the evening. She often works in the evening. In the evening. She often works in the evening. Please try to stay awake and pay attention. Stay awake, pay attention. Great. Okay, another example. Who is going to do it? 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 Okay. So I know that this is difficult to remember sometimes, but it's important to review it sometimes to remember that these sounds should be blended. And when we're speaking, it's not only about the sound of the letter, but the sound of the combinations of letters. Because the most difficult part of this pronunciation lesson is when the sounds change. So right now we talked about situations when we connect one sound to another sound and we don't say H or we don't say TH, right? Then we talked about when we add the sound Y or we add the sound W. But also there's a situation where we have two sounds, these two sounds come together and they make a new sound. So let's talk about that. Because when we say the sound T, we say the sound T at the end of the first word, and then at the beginning of the second word we say Y, like the letter Y. Y. Then, do you know what sound this makes? It makes the sound ch, ch. Makes the sound ch. I'll write these sounds with the letters. So this is the letter T, this is the letter Y, and this is CH. T, so T plus Y equals ch. Strange, right? So let me give you some examples. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you. We usually say chew, not you. Right? We don't usually say I'll never forget you. Instead, these two sounds blend together and they make chew. I'll never forget you. I've got your number. I've got your number. I've got your number. I've got your number. I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you. I've got your number. I don't know what you're doing. 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 Yeah. And then the last one. The last rule that we'll talk about today for this is when we have D plus Y. And this gives us J. J. So if we have D plus Y, then we say J. For example, I told you. I told you. We don't usually say I told you. We say I told you. I told you. Sounds like the word Jew. I told you. What else? Did your wife call? Did your wife call? Did your wife call? Yeah, I told you. I told you. She said you're coming. She said you're coming. She said you're. She said you're coming. Said you're coming. She said you're coming. Did your wife call? I told you. She said you're coming. Yeah. So there's a lot of situations when D connects to Y, right? D and Y. And there's a lot of situations with T and Y. This is when you hear native speakers say the sounds Ch and J, right? Like, for example, another one. Should you go? Should you? Should you go? Should you go? Should you go? Mm-hmm. Could you help? Could you help me? Could you help me? Right, so this is more natural, blending the sounds together like a native speaker does. Could you help me? Instead of could you help me? Right? So good. I just wanted to give you guys these examples to start our lesson today because maybe you've never thought about this before, or maybe you never heard about this before, and sometimes it's good to review it. So, okay, today we're talking about usually and used to. What do you usually do on Fridays, Nirvana? What do you usually do?
Now I usually watch your class.
You join English classes?
Yes.
Okay, great. What else? What else do you do on Fridays usually? What do you usually do on Fridays?
Nothing special.
Nothing special?
No.
That's not interesting.
I don't know what say about.
You don't know what to say about your Fridays? Okay.
Yes.
Aisha, what do you usually do on Fridays?
Yes, I usually prepare a nice special breakfast on Fridays, and I usually do washing in Friday.
You do the washing?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's great.
And
so Friday's the washing day.
yes, because we have weekend in Friday.
Uh-huh.
So all house work I usually do it on Fridays.
Mm-hmm. Great. Amira, what do you usually do on Fridays? Hi. So what do you usually do on Fridays?
Cooking.
You go shopping?
Do shopping and cooking.
I'm sorry, it's difficult to hear you.
Do shopping and cooking.
Walking and talking?
Do shopping
Uh-huh.
and cooking.
And
Cooking.
and talking?
Cook.
Working.
Cook.
Cooking. Cooking. Oh, okay. Shopping and cooking. What do you like more, shopping or cooking? I'm joking. You don't. You don't have to answer that question.
In both.
You like both? I can't cook. I'm terrible at cooking. Yeah.
You can
Learn? I can learn?
yes.
I think maybe I should, because right now when I go to the kitchen and I cook food, it's so bad we just have to throw it away.
Go again.
I'm a bad cook, bad chef. But my wife enjoys cooking too, so I'm lucky. All right, great. Gigi, what do you usually do on Fridays?
I usually show around because here normally all the store is still open till 9 o'clock, because normally close 6 o'clock
Mhm.
every day except on Friday, and it's quite normal here. People stay longer outside on Friday and sometimes drink something, eat something. Yeah, it's like the best day here is Friday. In normal life, of course. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you said on Fridays you usually go out? What did you
Yeah,
say?
go out. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, Fridays are a little different these days, but still, Friday is a different day than the rest of the week, right? For some people, it's the end of the work week. For some people, it's the beginning of the weekend, and for some people, it's just another day. But so we can, when we say usually, we're talking about this cycle, something that repeats, something that happens again and again. It's regular, right? So we could say, I usually, and for example, go shopping. I usually go shopping. So we should say go, not going, not went, right? I usually go. After usually, we say the infinitive, the main part of the verb. Go, be, walk, do, right? But we have to change the infinitive to the first person form. We have to change the infinitive to the first person form. So after usually, it's present tense, right? I go, you go, but he goes, right? So I usually go shopping. He usually goes shopping. And then if we want to say that we don't usually do it, it's usually not true, then we can say, I don't usually go shopping. We should say don't before usually. I don't usually go shopping. I don't usually go shopping on Fridays. And we can say, do you usually go shopping on Fridays? Do you usually? Do you usually go shopping on Fridays? I don't usually go shopping on Fridays, but today is an exception. Today is an exception. An exception. I will do it this Friday, but usually I don't. Right? I don't usually go shopping, but today is an exception. It's the one time that I do it, right? When it's not the same. Colin, hi. What do you usually do on Fridays, Colin?
Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. On Fridays, weekend is starting. So I usually make plans for the weekend.
Make plans for the weekend on Friday.
Yes.
Mhm. When we should be working, we're making plans for.
Yeah. Okay, we are working, but in the same time, you are thinking, what are we do on weekends?
What we're going to do.
What we are going to do on weekends? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Your body is here, but your mind is there.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Great. Okay, so like we said, when we talk about usually, it's this kind of cycle, right? It's a cycle that keeps going. So usually every Friday, every year, every month, every day, right? It's this kind of cycle. So this is present simple. And we use usually with present simple, usually. We usually use usually with present simple. And it looks like this. And this is interesting because it's different from all of the other verbs in English, all of the other verb tenses. Right? If we talk about the past simple, then the past simple, for example, this is now, and we have this cycle. But in past simple, we just have one point in the past. Just one point and it's finished. It doesn't tell us more information. And if we talk about future simple, it's the same. It's one point in the future. But present simple is different. It's a cycle. So how do we say a cycle in the past? We say used to. This is used to. So used to is different from past simple. Past simple is just one event. It's finished. That's all. Used to means in the past, there was a cycle of this was regular, this was usual in the past. And now, this is not true. So for example, I used to go to school. I used to go to school. I do not go to school now. But I do not need to tell you this. Because when I say I used to go to school, you understand automatically that this is not true now, that I do not go to school now. This is what used to means. Used to means it was true in the past, it was a cycle in the past, it was regular in the past, and now it's not true. I used to have long hair. I used to have long hair. In the past, I had long hair for some period of time, and now it's not true. Now, when we talk about this cycle in the past, we're not saying it's an exact moment or an exact period of time, right? We don't say, I used to have long hair when I was 10 years old. We don't usually say this. We say, I had long hair when I was 10 years old. It's an exact point. It's finished. It's 10. When I was 10 years old is finished. It's in the past, and that's all. I had long hair when I was 12 years old or whatever. So used to is different. We don't have this exact time. It's just before now, there was this true cycle, and now it's not true. So we could say, I used to play soccer. I used to play soccer, football In American English, we call it soccer. I used to play soccer. Do I play soccer now? No. But it was true in the past. When? We don't know. Before now. So usually we will use it like this, without a specific time. Sometimes you will hear people say, oh, when did you used to play soccer? Right? This is making it more like past simple. But usually it's going to be like this. So we can use this in the present, the positive form. We can say used to. We could say I didn't used to. And we can say, did you? Did you used to? So, positive form, I used to. When we write it, when we write this, we should remember to have D. I used to. I didn't used to. When we write it, there's no D. We have the D up here. We have the past tense already. And did you used to? We don't write D. And in the positive, we write D. I used to show that it's in the past. Great. Now, what about pronunciation? Sometimes people are confused about how we should pronounce this. So, I think you remember my lesson or when we talked in the seminar about strong pronunciation and weak pronunciation of words, like the word for. We say the strong pronunciation for, but the weak pronunciation fur. Fur, right? This is for you. This is for you. For you, right? The same here, that the word to has strong pronunciation, to, and weak pronunciation, t. So usually people will say, I used to have long hair. Used to. I used to have long hair. I used to study at school. I used to go to school. What about you? What did you used to do? What did you, remember from our pronunciation rules in the beginning of this lesson? D plus y. What did you used to do? What did you used to do? Okay, Gigi, what did you used to do? Tell us about something that you used to do.
I used to live in Portugal.
Used to live in Portugal, really?
Yes.
How long did you live in Portugal?
I have lived in Portugal for 20 years.
You lived in Portugal for 20 years?
Yes. And now I have been living here for almost 7 years.
I thought that you lived in Brazil before.
Nay.
No?
I used to live in Portugal, yes, in Algarve, in the south of Portugal.
And you've never lived in Brazil?
No, yes. I was born in Brazil. I used to live in Brazil, but after that, I moved to Portugal when I was, I think, 35 something years old.
Okay.
Yeah, long time ago.
So just 2 or 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Amira, what did you used to do?
I used to live in Syria.
You used to live in Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And
And now live in Egypt.
now you live in Egypt. Good example. Used to live in Saudi Arabia, now you live in Egypt. Uh-huh. Great, okay. Nirvana, what about you?
I used to do riding a bike every day.
You used to ride a bike
Oh.
every day?
Yes. Swimming.
Used to swim? After used to, we should say the infinitive. Used to ride, used to swim, used to.
I used to ride a bike every day and swim every day.
Yeah, that sounds very healthy.
Yes.
Great. All right, Aisha, what did you used to do?
I used to teach in the university when I was in my country.
You used to teach
Yeah.
at university. Mhm.
And now I study in the university.
It's great. A lifelong student,
Thank you.
professional student. That's-
I spent all my life studying.
that's what they say here. When somebody goes to university for a very long time, they say, "Oh, he's a professional student."
Me too.
Okay, and Colin, what about you? What did you used to do?
I used to smoke cigarettes.
Used to smoke cigarettes, okay,
Yes.
and now you smoke cigars.
No, I don't smoke anything now.
Not during our lesson, right?
Uh, well, I used to smoke cigarettes 10 days ago.
10 days ago.
Yeah.
So you just gave up.
Yes.
You just
I
quit.
hope I will not smoke anymore.
Mhm. Okay, then let's stop talking about it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's dangerous. Okay, great. So, so another question that a lot of people ask when we talk about used to, a lot of people ask, well, what's the difference between when we say I used to, or I am used to, right? A lot of people ask about this. What's the difference between I used to and I am used to? It's a big difference, very big difference. These are completely different ideas. It's just the same word, used to, the same phrase, used to, but it's something completely different. So here we have this verb to be used to. And this is the same as, or this is similar to get used to. To be used to or to get used to. And over here, this is not a special verb. This is just a special construction, a special phrase that has a special meaning. It's like going to. And right, we can say I will work or I am going to work. And going to it's not a special verb. It's just a phrase that has a special meaning. So we talked about I used to. We know what this means, right? It means I don't do it now, but in the past, that was regular for me. I am used to. This means that this situation is normal for me. It's not difficult. It's not strange. It's okay. So, for example, in last year in March and April, there was the pandemic. Everyone started working online. And lots of people were talking about, oh, I don't like working online. Working offline is so much better. But I was used to working online. For me, it was okay. For me, this wasn't strange. For me, this was normal. I was used to. Right now, I guess you can look at my shirt. Work from home. Yeah. I am used to working online right now. I am used to this. This is okay for me. It's normal for me. It's not difficult. It's not strange. I'm used to it. I am used to working online. But this is true for me now. I cannot say I used to work online. No, this is different. Right? I used to work online. This means it's not true. It was true in the past. But I am used to working online. This means it's normal for me. It's not strange. So we should remember that after I am used to, we say ing. I am used to working online. Over here, we don't say this. We say the infinitive. We say, I used to work. And here we have, I am used to working. I am used to working. Great. What about you, Gigi? Are you used to staying home all day? Are you used to staying home all day?
I would say right now, I am used to staying at home all day. But I think was quite difficult. Yeah, but I can say I can say I got used to staying at home.
Good, exactly. I got used to staying at home.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, because got used to, it means I became used to. It became normal for me, right?
Yeah.
I got used to it.
After 1 year, almost 1 year, yes, I got used to staying home at home all day.
Yeah, I think now most people have got used to this.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, so my last question for everyone today is, what is something that you will never get used to? What is something that you will never get used to? It will never become okay for you. It will always be strange. It will always be difficult. For example, it's something that you think is too difficult for you. Something that you will never get used to. For example, some people told me that in some countries, people eat scorpions. Do you know what a scorpion is? It's a small animal and it has a long tail and it can attack. Some people, in some countries, they eat scorpions. I will never get used to. I think I will never get used to eating scorpions. So this is my example. What's something that you will never get used to? Maybe it's a cold temperature, or maybe it's a group of people who do something strange, or maybe something like this. Something that you will never get used to. We say this phrase a lot when we move to another country. So think about the situation. For example, I moved to China and I find some strange things that happen, some strange or some strange food for me. And I say, I will never get used to the food. I will never get used to eating this food. I will never get used to living in this place. Right? People say this to say that it's difficult for them to change, right? Okay, Colin, what about you? What's something that you will never get used to?
Well, once I went to London for the city break, and there we have some friends, and they picked us up from the airport, and you know that they drive on the left side of the road. I wanted to say that they drive on the wrong side of the road, but I always had that feeling that yes, that I'm the wrong side of the road. So I think I never got used to drive a car with the steering wheel on the right part of the car.
I will never get used to driving.
Driving
on the other side of the road. Yeah, good example. Okay, great. So are there any other questions for today? I know that today we talked about used to, usually, and we also talked about blending sounds and pronunciation of English. Do you have any other questions? All right, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this lesson today, Nirvana, Amira, Aisha, Gigi, and Colin. And on Monday at 8 a.m. New York time, we will go live on Facebook in the group called English with Chris and Mary Kos. And next Friday, we will go live again here on YouTube at 8 a.m. New York time. And I look forward to seeing everybody then. Have a great weekend.